Welcome to Live Unashamed, where we pause the show and invite members of our team to talk vulnerably about their own recovery, things they're learning, the resources that are actually working, and what it truly means to live unashamed.
Ella!
Sam!
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, James.
Man, it's good to be with y'all.
It's been so long since we've been on a podcast.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Ella. Hey,
I haven't
daughter.
talked to you in like
I don't know. A day.
less than a day.
Yeah. So today's topic really is for Ella.
I'm so excited for this.
Because
Why is it for Ella?
Well, it's do-it-yourself therapy, DIY therapy. Ella, how's that been working out? Or I mean, recovery. DIY recovery, not therapy. Okay,
I'm
start
really
over.
just getting exposed.
Do-it-yourself recovery. How's that been working out for you, Ella?
Jeez. Just come at my throat.
Right.
With a knife.
Yes, right
Ella,
at it.
is do-it-yourself recovery possible? That is our question. Because according to James, you're the specialist.
Yeah, she's been trying really hard at it.
Dad.
So
Throw me under
so
the
this,
bus.
well, are we not doing super ashamed and super afraid right now? Oh wait, wrong show. What am I? Oh man. Oh, okay, sorry. Man, I gotta. Sorry, we're on unashamed, unafraid right now. Okay, we're gonna go another way with that.
James gets confused in his old age.
I do.
Old man.
Old man.
Maybe I should just step out.
Yeah. So is do-it-yourself recovery even like possible?
Chris, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
You know, we've actually had some guests on here that have done it. And I guess not necessarily done it by themselves because they've done it with God. But they haven't gone to 12-step.
Right.
They haven't done therapy. They've just found a way to find recovery. And
Like
stepped
outside
into
of like
I'm
like-
curious though. Is that have they? Because you probably would know.
I would love to know the episode numbers on those to remember that, but like
Steven
where they
would know.
actually yeah,
Steven, it was
but where
one of
they
those-
actually did it without any kind of community.
Yes.
Well, my
On their
question would
own?
be: Did
as
you
far as-
see
as far as I remember, it was
sobriety?
on their own? I would actually.
You
I would
saw?
bet money
Did you
that
see
it was on their
sobriety and recovery, or just sobriety? I mean, in the way that they described their story, what was your feel? Because my immediate thought is,
You know,
sure,
it's been
you
a
can
long time.
you can get sober
You know-
without anyone else's help, but you're not gonna recover. That's my thought.
I don't know. 'Cause I don't know where they're
Yeah,
at
so
now,
if you
'cause
were
it
one
was
of those
years
people,
ago that we
you
did it.
didn't recover and we hate you.
Wait, that's the wrong episode. That's the wrong podcast. The other podcast.
This is unafraid.
This is
Oh, I thought this
unashamed,
was
unafraid. Sorry.
Ashamed and afraid.
No, yeah, we're not doing that one
We're
tonight.
not doing that. Not tonight.
Yeah, that's the other show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
One, I don't think it works. Period. Like
Yeah.
like I don't know anybody. I was just telling a client tonight that, hey, you can't do this on your own.
Yeah.
Period.
And
Quit
that's
trying to do it on your
yeah.
own.
That's why I'm like, is DIY recovery like actually even a thing? Like, is that possible? And I'm with Sam. Like, I mean, we're big proponents of that, all of us.
Yeah, I
here,
mean,
'cause
I'll
we
go
did it
back
in
to.
community.
I've heard Steve say this multiple times, and I agree with him 100% on this. He's like, the biggest thing that most people are missing in
Is
his
the
field
community,
is the
yeah.
community.
I agree.
If he has to identify one thing, almost every time it's always community. That makes perfect sense. Where this is a taboo topic, and it's a little bit harder, and it's so close to your identity, right? That digs deep.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
I just have a lot of evidence and stories of people, and including myself, trying at the beginning to do it on your own.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I tried to do it on my own for years.
Yeah.
And it did not work until I got in to a place with other people with a similar struggle that I could talk to about it, that could teach me more about it, could help point out things to me about me that weren't helping and contributing to my recovery.
Yeah,
Like,
that we're
I
able to call
need-
you out on certain things.
Right, to call
Yeah.
me out or to be a shoulder to cry on when I was having a rough day,
Right.
or when I was feeling really ashamed about where I was at in my recovery. And like, I have needed people around me to do this. I have needed,
Totally.
personally, I've needed good, boot camp was extremely therapeutic for me, for the content and for the brotherhood.
Right.
Therapy did quite a lot of good for me, particularly being in a place where I could actively participate in my shame, developing shame resilience. One, learning about shame, period, was massive, but then a place where I could practice being shame resilient with other people.
And part of that shame resilience is talking about it.
Well, yeah, you have to. That's one of the steps of shame
Well, my
resilience.
experience has been every good resource, every one of the big aha moments I've ever had has come from a resource that someone else recommended to me because I opened up to them. I wouldn't be remotely close to where I'm at in sobriety or recovery if I had never opened up to key people in my life who were there for me and who recommended certain things. Warrior Heart being one of them.
Unashamed and
Right,
Afraid.
yeah, the accepted week-long intensive, that was a huge thing for me. I'm just like, I wouldn't know. There's no way I could have gotten the healing I needed if I didn't have the community.
Ella, what has community meant to you in your recovery?
Well, I was just thinking that DIY anything isn't real. Like, DIY is fake. Do it yourself is not real. Unless, it's a little craft online,
Well, no, because then you're looking online
You're
and
probably
somebody else is
fine.
helping you.
Yeah. I was just saying, you're watching the YouTube video to figure out how to do it.
That's good. Oh, that's so true.
You still didn't do it yourself. Somebody showed you.
Right. And so, DIY, especially when it comes to recovery, is just so, I recovered by myself is kind of,
Sounds
are you
lonely.
sure that, were you paying attention to your recovery? There was someone along the way at some point who you probably had a conversation with. I don't know, I've had conversations with my parents along the way, and I wouldn't necessarily say, I recovered because of my parents, but, I'm also not going to say that I recovered alone.
Right.
So just because I'm not, giving them that credit doesn't mean that I did it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And what has it been like for you to reach out to community in your recovery? How do you feel like that has, impacted your recovery process and is impacting your current recovery process?
I think for me, my experience is different from yours,
Right.
all three of yours, because as a woman, it's a little bit different to be in recovery for a sexual addiction, porn addiction. It's not something that people really expect from women, and so it's just that much more
Right.
taboo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you want to do it more on your own.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's well, and also I'm a woman, men are supposed to be the ones who can't control themselves and all that
The narrative.
stupid.
So do you
yeah.
feel like there's a lot more societal pressure for you in particular as a woman to do it on your own?
100%. And so for me reaching out, I've talked to my best friend multiple times about this, and she just every time she's just she's no problem.
She just listens.
Yeah.
She just
And
holds
no
that space for you.
judgment, and she doesn't struggle, but she's
Awesome.
just and I think that a ton of women would also react that way.
Hmm.
If I'm
With
being
kindness
honest,
and
I
openness,
think that
yeah.
women are generally just so empathetic and connective and want
Yeah.
to be there for each other that it's just most of the time I'm going to get that reaction. Obviously some of the time I'm not, but for me it's been a really positive experience. I've yet to have I am yet to have a really negative experience. But yeah.
So hopefully,
helpful.
if any of
Yeah.
you listeners have ever had that experience where you've found sobriety on your own, you found recovery on your own, you've been doing this all on your own, we'd love to have you email us and tell us your story.
Yeah.
And we'd love to even have you on the podcast because I'm sure there's somebody that might be out there somewhere that has happened. They were able to figure it out, and they figured it out. But in the last 14 years, I've been helping men and women in addiction recovery. I've never seen it for myself. I've never seen anybody that I've dealt with that has successfully done it on their own.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't remember the episode where the person was like, "Yeah, I just prayed a lot, and then all of a sudden, like, I stopped." I just can't remember that episode.
I'm laughing because I'm laughing. I'm laughing because that's so mean. Oh my gosh. Especially like early in
It's
recovery.
funny because it hurts.
Yeah, that hurts a lot actually. But as you know, in the last 5 minutes here, I think let's kind of go around and talk about how we've all tried to do it on our own and how well that's worked out. I'm gonna start.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, for me, I have had a lot of those prayers where it's like, God, take it away from me. Not God, lead me to the resources that I need to heal, or God, help me to understand your love better, or God, help me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the hollow prayers where it's like, hey, God, I'm keeping this between you and me, and just take it away so that I don't have to actually reach out to people and do the things that are necessary for recovery. That's been a tough one for me. It's been really, even now that I feel like I have a pretty good network of people.
Yeah.
When I get stuck, the automatic reaction for me is still not yet to reach out and be like, hey, James, I'm struggling, dude.
Yeah.
Can you just be a listening ear? Right? Hey, Chris.
Right.
And I'm getting better at that, right? In fact, I reached out to you last week, Chris, and that was awesome. But it hasn't worked for me, to say the least. And that's something that I'm working on right
Hasn't
now.
worked for you to do it on your own.
To do it on my own has not worked for me. And that is, glad we're talking about this right now, something I'm working on as we speak.
Okay.
And for anybody that
so the
feels
thing
like-
that you're laughing at is like
The thing that I'm laughing at is that
prayer. Of
is
like,
that prayer
God,
of
take
just
it away
like,
from
God,
me.
take it away.
Okay,
I don't want to really open up and have a sense of community.
So
It's just
so how did you
resonated.
how did you do it wrong, Chris? Or what's the funny thing that you that you kept trying over and over? I don't know. I'm trying to go with your thread there, Sam.
When I was trying to do it on my own, even my wife called me out on it.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you not letting anybody help you? And I'm like, my words, I remember where I was driving and everything. I said, I don't deserve anybody's help.
Ooh.
Wow.
Because I was like, I have done so much damage and I've hurt so many people. I don't deserve anybody to help me, to do anything for me.
Dude, how did you conquer that? I mean, that is like, that's deep. I can tell.
That's real.
You're tearing up as you say that.
Because God, or Autumn, she's like, it's not a matter of whether you deserve that or not. People are there to help you. And God is placing these people in your life to show you the way.
Yeah.
To help show you what you need. And I started turning my life over to God and making changes. And here I am.
Yeah.
And it's just, it can be life-changing.
Yeah.
Not doing it on your own.
Yeah.
James?
I think one of the ways I did it on my own, yes, yours as well, Sam. Another one that I think kept me on from really getting help was, frankly, that my pornography use cycle was stretched out. It was kind of long, where I'm looking at it like every maybe 3 months was kind of my usual pattern. So I'd look at it, kind of binge maybe anywhere from like an hour to a couple of days, and I'd be good for like, 3 months. And so to me, I was like, oh, well, that's not really, like, I questioned, do I have an addiction? Well, that doesn't look like addiction. Sound like who has an addiction that does that? And of course, then just like, I don't want to tell anybody about it. I can't reveal that. So I guess that would be kind of the things that I can look back at of like, oh man, I can't, that got in the way of, one, the prayer of like, God, just take it away. Two, like, I'm not worthy of anybody helping me out. Just because my natural tendency was like, they don't give hoot. They just don't
Especially
care.
God.
Yeah,
In
and
my
God
case,
doesn't.
I was
Yeah,
especially
yeah, God doesn't care anyway. And then now the additional of like, yeah, I don't want to tell anybody about it because I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed of it.
Mhm.
And two, I don't understand how is this an addiction? Nobody's gonna be able to help me.
Wow.
So I think that's something that kind of got in the way of that. Right, that was the way that kept me doing it by myself.
Ella?
I think for me, there's this quote, I can't remember who it's by, but they basically just say, like, if you look around in, like, Christianity in general, a good Christian woman is tired. And so for me it was, and has been and is, instead of, like, reaching out to people, it's just, like, I'm busy. I'm busy.
Using the busy excuse.
Yeah. And so, when people ask me how I'm doing, like, my first answer is, like, I work and I do school full time, and I come home and I do my homework and I read a book and I go to bed. And that's my whole, like I fill my day.
That's your Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Right. You're
Because
creating
I'm
your
supposed
Christian
to be
tiredness.
I'm supposed to be tired.
Yeah.
Like, as a Christian woman, I'm supposed to be tired of all the good that I'm doing in the world.
See, and I'm like, a Christian woman should be alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Awesome.
As a
so
Christian man should be alive. We
Yeah.
should all be alive.
Yeah, there's some cultural scripts that I think we're all still battling.
yeah.
So that makes a
yeah.
lot of sense.
I think that has been important for me to learn, is just, like, taking those moments where I feel that shame script of, like, I should be tired from all the good that I'm doing, and just, like I said, going to my best friend and being like, you're going to be so disappointed in me, and having her just be like, I could never be disappointed in you. And frankly, like, she looks me in my eyes and she's like, frankly, you're dumb for thinking that I was going to be disappointed in you for this.
Let me shame you a little
Some
bit.
anti-shame.
Yeah.
Back to love.
She's like, you're an idiot, actually, for thinking that I was going to be disappointed in you.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Guys, we want to hear from you. Reach out to us. Tell us how you're trying to do it on your own. What needs to change in your life so that you can get a better sense of community and start recovering and get rid of this do-it-yourself mentality that kills all of us, especially me, in recovery. Email us, Chris, Sam, James at unashamedunafraid.com. And don't forget to donate.
And if you want to reach out to Ella, you can do that via James.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Not to my personal email.
And I'll forward it to her.
I'd be
yeah.
uncomfortable if you found my email.
Yeah, that'd be a little weird. We're not inviting any. Yeah.
Find us on social media at Unashamed, Unafraid. And until next time, continue to live unashamed.